how are you, first and foremost? Are you ready to see England take the next step to definitely this time bringing it home against the Americans?
Well, I think so. It'll be a tough game today. The last twice they've played them, they haven't beat them. So, you know what Americans are like? They're so confident. It's a little bit like when we used to play Australia at cricket. You just want to bash them and beat them, really. And the Americans are the same at football now. So I'm hoping that the lads can turn them over.
Yeah, exactly. We do have a rivalry there, and yes, the history is against us, but it's probably the only time America can say they've got better history than us, isn't it, when it comes to this? But what kind of team do you hope that Gareth Southgate picks today? Do you think he could afford to even rest a couple of players or not, go full throttle?
No, I don't think he can. I think, the criticism that he'll get if things go wrong, I think it's enough to beat him with a full team. So I think he'll go full team. Might make one change. I don't know if there's any knocks anywhere. But it's the team, I think, that he should have picked it. He did it, and I think well done to him, really.
Yeah, gone a bit more attacking, a bit less conservative perhaps in it. But you would know about high-pressure situations, about it's not quite knockout football yet, is it? But the World Cup, obviously, ultimately a knockout tournament. Have you seen a shift in mentality with the England players? Because, look, when I was growing up and I was younger, despite the fact that we had the golden generation, a lot of it was a very hard watch, Neil, and it looked like they bottled it on the big stage. Not so much now.
I used to watch Coronation Street instead of watching England play. Honestly, I used to dread England playing. And I think the last few years, Gareth's done really well because he's got a young group who want to listen to him on every word he says, and he motivates. So he hasn't got a Ronaldo or somebody that's going to, be hard to judge. So, and the games, the last 5 games that we played, the friendly games, that whatever they call it, Nations League, absolutely pathetic. It's like a pre-season friendly. You don't want to play them as a manager. You want to get into this real McCoy stuff, and that's why I'm not surprised about the first game. Today it'll be a little bit more difficult breaking them down because I think defensive-wise they're better than what the Iranians were. So it'll be interesting to see if we can start on that front foot and have a go at them.
Yeah, indeed. Lots of exciting young talent, less of a reliance on the idea of Harry Kane, because I know a lot of people, when that squad was announced, I was one of them, I thought, Harry Kane, undoubtedly a great of the game. And then you look behind him, Marcus Rashford. Some people might argue is focused a little bit more on politics than football in recent years, which as a Manchester United fan I've not been best pleased about, but he's entitled to do whatever he wants to do. Callum Wilson had a great season, all right, fair enough, but you're looking at that front line and you're thinking, well, if Harry Kane goes, are we in a bit of trouble? But you have got some great players in behind him, haven't you? The likes of Saka, we can score, Jude Bellingham, we can score goals from various different positions, can't we?
I don't think it's scoring goals that's going to be the problem. I think it's when we get to better opposition, I think it'll be defending them. I still, I think Harry Maguire's done well, but I don't like at times when we let the opposition break quick at us. So we have to score goals. I think Clough used to say, let's score more goals than the opponents, and I think that's what we've got to do. We've got to go into it. And in this game in particular, it wouldn't worry me if Wilson played. I think Wilson's been outstanding this season, and he's the only one that goes beyond. Ivan Toney wouldn't have gone beyond. So I think that's a good decision with Wilson. The other young lads, I in my lifetime, I can see Bellingham being the best midfield player that I've ever seen. So the way that he is now, the coolness is like an old head. At such a young age, I've been really impressed with him. And Declan Rice, great, nice and steady. So I think we've got the makings, mate. I think if we can get the points today, it'll be great to give the likes of Foden and Grealish and one or two others a game against Wales. I think it'll be just to give them some minutes, just in case they need it in the latter parts. You mentioned Jude Bellingham there. I think he's only just 19, isn't he? I believe they retired his shirt number at Birmingham when he went to Dortmund. Again, as a United fan, that was a crushing blow, by the way, but I've become very used to that in recent years. But you think he's got the potential to be the best midfielder you've ever seen? You've seen some absolute greats, and with respect, you had a 42-year-long managerial career, I believe. So basically, you've seen everyone. I'm reading between the lines there, Neil. Are you saying you think he could be the best midfielder the world's ever seen? I just think he's got everything in his locker. He's got coolness under pressure. He can pick a pass out. He breaks the game up well with tackles. He scored, the header people just said it was a decent goal. But when you look at it from my point of view, I thought it was an unbelievable header. The ball's coming behind him, and he directs it to the left of the keeper. I didn't think he got enough credit for the header. So I think he's got everything that you need to become a top-class, world-class player. And we're lucky to have him now. And at the same time, when you look at Foden and Saka and people like that, you know, I think it's an exciting time. We just seem to be short of centre-halves at the minute, that's all.
Well, look, I think Harry Maguire gets a lot of stick because he does. And, you know, I don't really want to drag it up there. I believed he was at Sheffield United for a bit, wasn't he? And I know you were. I won't drag you down that route because everything that has been said about Harry Maguire, really, we don't need to necessarily drag down there. But, Neil, do you mind if I just put you on the spot a little bit? Because I am being serious now. I interview a lot of people, you know, every single day on this channel, mostly, unfortunately, politicians. I think you should potentially run for number 10 because you definitely have my vote. But
you didn't see my cabinet then when I picked a cabinet, did you?
I can see a cabinet behind you right now, and it's full of booze, and I love it. But seriously though, one of the things that I do depressingly often is to watch some of your team talks from back in the day. You've got to dive for 3 points. Look. Can I just ask you quickly, if you're in that dressing room tonight, right, and it's England there, we're at the World Cup, we're playing America, the weight of expectation is on the lads. Come on, Neil, what are you saying? Get them pumped up.
I just think it's the same. It's not quite as, you know, I mean, I said things like that, which incidentally is the name of my podcast now. But anyway, it died for 3 points. The quality of the players, I've never had quality like that. I'm not being disrespectful to the players I've had. But these lads, they need reminding before they go out and how good they are. That's what they need, to go out with the confidence on that front foot, win your first tackle, win your first header, you know, do the rest will take care of itself. If we compete with them in the physical side, we will beat them. And I think that's just what Gareth will be doing, just reminding them of all the good points that they've got. You know, the training's finished. Now it's all in the mind now. And let's get on that front foot like they did against Iran. And keep on the front foot because, you know, they will go under if we can get on that front foot and keep them in there.